So I prefer limping there instead, honestly. This is a flat call, pretty easy. Um, I think just flatting here is fine. He makes it a standard half pot. I think flatting is the best way to go. Uh, Not a bad card for the turn. Now, a lot of regs here would shut down on a turn like this. If they have some kind of equity here, they would definitely bet. For example, if you had like Queen Jack, maybe this guy, since he's a little aggro, would bet like a Queen 9 or something like that. Um, but I still think regardless we can flat call this turn, pending the sizing. So we bet 107 here, and I think once again, we could figure out how many odds we're getting. So let's see here. So 107 here, we have Alright, so I just don't think I can fold on a flop this bet. I think my plan was to just call the flop, call the turn, and then fold the river if he keeps up his aggression. Because when you play cards against somebody who's capable like this guy, you gotta understand what your range looks like. And obviously, it looks like a lot of 10x here. If I had Queen Jack, I probably would have got all in on the flop. I mean, I could have some small King X trying to set him up. But with card, if he has a king here, card removal, that'd make it pretty easy on him. 5x would have folded, so just a lot of 10x here. So with that bet on the turn, I just don't know if he thinks I'm gonna fold this river here. I mean, I'm getting great odds to call this river. So with him knowing I have 10x, him betting the river is just not a good play if he doesn't have anything. So maybe I leveled myself here, but I'm pretty sure that he had me beat here when he goes all in. I mean, we're getting tons of odds here, so let's do our equation real fast. Let's do our equation real fast here. So we bet 153. So the bet call is 153, and then you got to divide that by 680, and that will get you 22%. So I only have to be right here 22% of the time. I just don't feel that I'm good 22% of the time here. I just honestly don't. My range is just is so 10x heavy, and he knows this. Because he's a good player, and I just feel like him shoving that river is a lot of like King X or even better hands. If he bluffed me out, then kudos to him. But I just feel like that that's just a good fold on my part, even though I'm getting great odds. So I think folding there is fine. I would actually prefer to limp here, but once you've been like limping a lot and folding a lot pre-flop, mixing in a c-bet, a pre-flop min raise, it works well, just because it keeps your range a little more balanced, so you're not folding, and then once again, when you have pocket aces, you raise and you fold easily. It's good to mix in stuff once in a blue moon, because it makes you just balance your range a little bit better. I end up limping here, which I guess is fine, and we get shoved on, so limping is maybe not the best play this deep versus guy who seems to be reeling quite a bit. Once again, folding 6-9 here, this deep. I like the limp here. This is a good hand. You don't want to get 3-bet off this hand. And we can call a 3x here, I believe. If he punished there, that wasn't a too big of a size, we can get away with calling. I think a little bit of a loose call, but since he's been doing it so much, I don't think it's bad. So now another interesting flop here. So we decide to limp c-bet 33, which is kind of what I talked about before. And he ends up check raising. So one thing to look at is he makes it the same size here, which I think is his way of trying to trap me, because by betting the same size here, 100 more than my my bet, I feel like he thinks that I'm going to think that he's on a flush draw, which I guess works against fish, and I kind of like to play honestly. I'm just not falling for it here. I mean, plus I have the flush draw, but when check raising on a line like this, it's just one of those hands where he just there's this more solid hands in his range when he check raises a board like this, other than a flush draw. But regardless of that, we're still getting great odds to make this call. So I think flatting here is just fine. You could consider shoving all in here, which isn't a bad play, but I know his range is way stronger than ours right here. So I think we're just drawing to 9 outs, and I just don't want to be in that situation to make it easy on him. There's no reason to push all in here that far behind versus a good player. So I was thinking I was doing the math here. Obviously the math is simple. Once again, we have 9 outs, so that's 36. So you do 64 divided by 36. It's only 1.7, and we're getting a little bit more than that, so it's a call. Horrible turn for us. He can trip up. His queens are golden. He could honestly pick up a full house here. So I think that now, based off of his bet size, we have another decision to make. He makes it 163. So let's do our odds again right now. So he made it 163. So we have 9 times 2. We have 18. So 82 divided by 18. So we need at least 4.5 to. We need more than 4 to 1 odds to make this call. So 489 divided by 163, and we're getting 3.1 odds. So we have to fold here. Unfortunately, it's pretty easy fold. See, and this is where math comes into play here. I mean, obviously math isn't the end-all be-all, but, I mean, based off of what his ranges look like, based off of how he's thinking, and just based off of the math, it just makes it easier to fold there. I mean, if it was more of a spaced-out flop, like if it was like ace 10-3 and I had jack 6 of diamonds, I would have probably shoved all in. Just because I just feel like it's a drier board, and he's not gonna have as much as I'd like to think he had with the Queen 10x board. Once again, we're getting a little tight late. I mean, I would like to see myself maybe 3-bet a little bit more. I feel like at the time, though, since he wrote in chat LOL, and he's just been playing a lot faster, that he's the type of guy who's just not going to be folding to a lot of 3-bets, and he's just trying to get it in. So I don't think that playing my small, raggedy hand is going to get me anywhere. It's just going to build up his stacks and have him chip away at mine. So I think just playing conservatively is the best play right now versus this guy. Once again, just folding there, since he's been punishing our limps, or raising our limps, sorry about that. So used to the lingo. See, now this is a board this is a hand that's good to 3-bet, because one, great game flow. I mean, we've been folding and folding and folding, and I think it's time just to make our move here. And he's been min-raising a ton since that big all-in hand, and plus it's suited. It's not a bad hand to 3-bet. It's plus EV. And 165 is fine too, which makes it look even stronger. And you don't always want to make it 180 or 3x all the time. When stacks get a little bit deeper, you want to adjust your 3-bit your 3-bit sizing as well, just a little bit. You want to be able to play post flop. So limping here I think is fine. Once again, making our life miserable. You know, if he keeps punishing our min raise, we can definitely set him up with the hand for sure. This is an easy fold. We just 3-bet, so no need to get creative there. And once again, folding. I mean, we can't min raise because we're getting raised too much by him, and min raise folding. We're just not getting any fold equity when min raising a hand like 3-4 that plays so bad post flop. We're literally just giving him chips unless we hit like a monster hand, and the odds are just not in my favor when you get flatted with a hand like 3-4. Now this is a hand that is too strong to fold in my book. First, this kind of guy who's just opening pretty much 100% ever since that big hand. I think we just 3-bet, so I don't think that we're gonna get as much credit as we did last time. So I think flatting here is probably best. I think folding is a little bit too nitty. Unfortunately, a horrible flop for us, so we're just check folding here. But I don't mind the flat with a hand like 9-5. Definitely since he's been opening such a wide range. Once again, folding 3-10. Seven, 8. That would have been interesting to see what I would have did with that hand. What I talked about before, it's been a while since we min raised, so there's no reason not to min raise a hand like 7-5. Balances our ranges a little bit better, and plus it's a connected hand. We can still hit some pairs and stuff like that, so it's not the worst hand to decide to min raise with, even though it's not value. But once again, we need to balance our ranges just a little bit versus this guy, and we do get the fold. So that's kind of why we do it, because now it looks really strong because we haven't done it in quite a while. So. Unfortunately, we're getting no cards here. But remember, just stay calm. Don't get antsy. Don't get stupid. Don't rush anything. Now this is a hand where I like mid raise folding as well. It's perfect hand to do it about 17 big blinds deep. Limping isn't bad either, but we know what happens when we limp versus this guy. And we get a fold again. So good. He seems to be respecting us a little bit more when it comes to min raising this deep. This is an easy fold. I think limping. So this is a great hand right here because we've been raising and he's been basically folding. So he's kind of been respecting our min raises. Now, one thing he has been respecting is our limps, right? Yeah. So when we limp this hand, I feel like we're gonna get punished a lot in this situation, and then we can just pretty much get it all in. And not only and even though worst case scenario he just checks back, this hand plays a great post flop, so we're not in that bad of a situation as if we had like, let's say, ace 8 suited. So I think this is the best hand to do it with. So he makes it a pretty big size. I mean, I just don't see any room to make a little re-raise here. I think it's pointless because we're just shoving all in on anyways. I think shoving all in here looks a lot weaker. Looks a lot like a lot of ace-x, I'm sorry. And he does make a very loose call here. Maybe he felt like he was committed. Still a very loose call. But I think he did this because he thought we had a lot of ace-x in our range. And this plays fairly decent against a lot of ace-x. But we spike a king. There's just... and there we go. So we needed both of our cards to earn this win. And that is it. So overall, pretty good game here. I hope you guys liked the video. Once again, if you guys want to contact me, please just look at the information on the next slide. And I'll talk to you guys later. So take care.